Well, Chelsea fans, it's happening. Callum McFarland is at the wheel, at least for the Fulham game. Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And today, that means that we're going to talk about a few small pieces of news that have arisen during the day. My video is coming out a little bit later than usual because, as you can see, I've got a new microphone and I've spent some time setting it up, and hopefully I've got it all nice and crispy for you. But guys, before we get into the content, if you are enjoying the videos and would like to see more of them, please do me the distinct honour of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments. Whatever gets you through your day. Right, so Fulham, Wednesday. Premier League, Callum McFarland is still going to be in charge. So as within the last hour, Callum McFarland has been confirmed as still taking the team. He actually said in an interview, I think it was after the Man City game, that he said that he was only initially asked to take hold of the Man City game, but ultimately, he was prepared to take the Fulham one as well. And that's exactly what's happening. So what does this mean for potentially incoming manager Liam Rosenior, I hear you say? Well, it's not terrible news, to be completely honest. Now, whether you like the idea of Liam Rosenior or not is one thing, all to yourself, whatever. But at the same time, the reason that we're not instantly appointing him might actually be a good one, and shows that the ownership may well have some sort of heart. So, Liam Rosenior is in London. He's had his interview today, I assume. Now, whether that interview is more of a formality or whether it actually could change things, I don't know. But it sounds like the reason that we're not just going to appoint him straight away and get him in there for the Fulham game is because Blueco want to make sure that Strasbourg have a manager in place, right? And that apparently they've got their shortlist down to 3 people at the moment. Because that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it's easy for us as Chelsea fans to go, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's a whole other football club, man. Do you know what I mean? It's literally a whole other football club. So the fact that we're not just ripping Liam Rosenior out of there and we're trusting Callum McFarland to take another game shows that there is some modicum of or level of respect being shown to our French sister club. And that's good, man. That's good. There's been loads of wild rumours going over the last few days, man. The owners don't care. They couldn't care less about Strasbourg. They couldn't care less about the Carabao Cup. All this, that and the other. For me, I think a lot of it's just sensationalist, because it's what happens when there's big news, isn't it? Like, everyone and their dog who reports on things or makes content or writes articles or actually is a journalist is going to want to try and get the most out of this, aren't they? So there's all like sources inside the club say this, that and the other, but we can only actually deal with what we can see in front of us, and what we can see in front of us is Liam Rosenior, as far as we're aware, is the only manager that's been interviewed. And despite him being in London, despite him being interviewed, Callum McFarland still taking hold of the Fulham game, and that supposedly is down to Strasbourg not having yet hired a replacement manager. And, they'll probably want to do them both at the same time, won't they? So I'm actually kind of interested to find out who the Strasbourg's manager is going to be, because at this point, it's like the worst kept secret in football that Liam Rosenior is going to take over Chelsea, but there has been a couple of names floating around, Callum McFarland actually one of them, that could be in line to take the Strasbourg job. Now, it does look like Gary O'Neill seems to be the bookies' favourite at the moment. He's the biggest leaked name that's going to take over Strasbourg, so it will be interesting to see what goes on over there. But either way, I'm ready to see Liam Rosenior get in and given a chance, man. Obviously, like you, we've all done bits of research on him, and is he an obvious upgrade on Maresca? No. Is he the same level as Maresca? Probably not. Is he a bit of a downgrade? Potentially. We can only really see that after he's had a few games, can't we? But at the same time, I'm just ready for him to get back in, and I'm just ready to move past this absolutely dramatic January that's just been filled. It's like EastEnders. Do you know what I mean? It's literally like EastEnders, man. Amarim's been sacked today. Celtic have sacked their manager. It's all kicking off, man. It's all kicking off. There was already crazy rumours about Maresca being linked to Tottenham, because obviously Thomas Frank's having a really bad time. Managers are really struggling at the top level at the moment, and that's because there's none of these big managers available. So a lot of these managers going to all of these clubs are your Thomas Franks, your Ruben Amarims, your Enzo Marescas, guys that are having big chances taken on them by big clubs, and a lot of the time it's not working out, with the exception of maybe Arteta at Arsenal, who, although like now big manager 100%, like when he got the job, he was basically the same kind of profile, wasn't he? Like no experience, it was a bit of a chance, and he's obviously been given that opportunity to go on and build his club. So, you know, it can work out, and ultimately, like I say, I'm just ready to put all of this behind me. Rosenior's not signing a long-term contract by the looks of things, so essentially maybe a Pochettino situation that we're going to be looking at, and I'm just ready for him to come in and get bits done, man. I'm just ready to start focusing back on the football again, and Callum McFarland got us a draw against Man City, so you know that's something, isn't it? You would have thought that makes him at least qualified to have a crack at the Fulham game. So either way, I'm going to support Callum while he's still in the dugout, and I'm ready to support Liam Rosenior when he comes in. So should Liam Rosenior come in, other news that is broken yesterday and today, I'm kind of amalgamating it all together, is Liam Rosenior is making demands already, right? And there's only one in particular that I've seen any news about, but it is apparently Liam Rosenior has specifically asked for Marc Guehi to be bought, and that kind of makes sense for lots of reasons, man. When Liverpool missed out on Marc Guehi, I was just like, 35 mil, what? That's mad. Why weren't we going in for him back then? And obviously, Blueco at that time were wanting Maresca to look at internal options. So I do see that as a bit of a faux pas. There is some noise, apparently, to say that Marc Guehi wasn't particularly interested in the project at the time. Maybe that changes with Liam Rosenior. I don't know, man. I don't know. Not 100% sure. But apparently, Liam Rosenior really wanted Marc Guehi. Now, the other news that's come out today, obviously, about that, is that Man City also now want Marc Guehi because they are struggling with their centre-back situation. I can't even remember who it was because they've got so many, but one of their centre-backs went off in the Chelsea game the other day and was replaced by a very young Kuzanov, who I believe is still 18, 19 years old, like really young lad. So to go on for their title challenge, which unfortunately we have just made more difficult for them, and we just pushed Arsenal a little bit closer to the league, which is savage. It looks like that they also want to get Marc Guehi. So you would have thought, wouldn't you, like, it's not really about the money at this point because he's got no time left on his deal. He's going to be pretty cheap. If Marc Guehi's presented with the current Chelsea situation or the current Man City situation, you probably would have thought that he's going to want to go to Man City. I don't think it will come down to money either, would it? To be honest, like Man City aren't exactly scared of throwing their money around when it comes down to it. But either way, if there remains some modicum of hope that we could see Marc Guehi in a Chelsea shirt again, I'd absolutely love to see that. And that leads me on to the last piece of news we're going to talk about today, which is about Vinicius Jr. I actually did a video on this a little while ago. I'm always going to report on these big transfers when they're linked, man, even if the sources aren't like Fabrizio Romano or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Even just to speculate whether I think it's genuine, whether I think it would work or whatever. At the end of the day, we'd all love to have Vinicius Jr., wouldn't we? Let's be completely honest. When we're looking at Alejandro Garnacho and Jamie Gittins, and last year we were looking at Mudryk and Sancho, and like we've just had so many bad left wingers for such a long time now. Obviously, the idea of a Vini Jr. on the left would be absolutely tantalising. Now, what's interesting about this particular bout of rumours surrounding Vini Jr. is supposedly his management team are offering him to Chelsea. Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Obviously, it'd be nice, but I just don't think it's going to happen, man. I think it's just a bridge too far in terms of the finances. He's going to cost 130 mil minimum, something like that. And we've spent money like that before on, you know, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. We're not scared necessarily of spending the 100 mil on a player that's the right player. But it's the wages, man. He's going to be on like bucks, mega bucks. And the only problem with that is if you break the wage structure for a Vini Jr., then it's not going to be long before Cole Palmer's, Moises Caicedo's, Marco Correa's, before these guys are knocking on the door and going, hold on a second, we thought there was a structure. We thought it had to be this way, or there was no other option. So that's the issue, isn't it? In a nutshell, like Vini Jr. could be absolutely amazing, don't get me wrong. But if he comes in on 400k a week, and that is almost double what the majority, well, more than double than what a lot of the people in the squad will be earning, do you know what I mean? Then questions are going to be asked. It's natural. So this is the problem, like trying to look at it from the owner's point of view at this point, is you kind of like, if you go for a Vini Jr., you've then got to commit to paying everyone in your squad who is performing as well as he is that same level. Now, if Vini Jr. comes in and instantly has a Cole Palmer under Pochettino style season and no one else is catching up to him, maybe you could get away with it. But you would have thought if a Vini Jr. comes in, he's going to improve the players around him, he's going to improve results, he's going to lift the level in general. So although I would love to see it, the FIFA kid, football manager kid in me absolutely would love to see Vini Jr on the left, especially bearing in mind what we've been through with left wingers for the last few seasons. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's realistic, man. I just don't think it's realistic. So that's it, guys. I'm just going to keep it relatively short today. Obviously, we've got the game against Fulham coming up on Wednesday. There's going to be more news. Like I say, man, it's all kicking off at the moment. Amorim's been sacked from Man United, and I've got my whole own opinion on what's going on there. But obviously, this is a Chelsea channel, so I'll save that for another time. And at the end of the day, man, there's going to be stuff to talk about. It's annoying not to just get the manager in straight away, but at the end of the day, if the reason for it genuinely is that they just don't want to rip Liam Rosenior out of Strasbourg and leave them with a caretaker situation and they want to appoint a manager too, then yeah, absolutely fair enough, man. Do you know what I mean? Respect that. Obviously, seeing crazy rumours today because obviously you would. Bookies odds for Maresca to Man United. I don't think that's going to happen. By the looks of it, they've appointed Darren Fletcher as the caretaker manager for the rest of the season. So Man United aren't going to instantly rush in to making this next appointment either. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens over there. And Man United fans, if any of you happen to be watching this, mate, we're all just in it together at the moment, aren't we? What a mess it is for very different reasons. But we're all taking pot shots at the owners and we're all taking pot shots at our managers that aren't good enough. I think this is just the state of play in modern football now, though, man. It's going to be so hard to go out and get the guy that's winning everything, because at the moment it's still basically Pep. Do you know what I mean? Is Pep Guardiola, Luis Enrique, but he's going to be pretty comfortable at PSG, isn't he? They won the Champions League last year. There's not much reason for him to jump ship unless the Barcelona job comes back around. I'm not even really sure, but I don't think he'd go to Madrid, for instance. I don't know, man. You look at Bayern Munich, have got Vincent Kompany. You look at all the majority of the top teams in the UK, bar Man City, have got some sort of young and upcoming manager. Whether that's working or not, I don't know. But this just seems to be the state of play we're in at the moment. You know, there's been a lot of talk about the club not showing enough ambition with the signing of Liam Rosenior, but I'm just like, well, who else do you go for, man? Especially right now, do you know what I mean? Especially right now. There aren't really loads of managers about. Yeah, there's Allegri, Simeone, but these guys are all pretty comfortable in their positions at the moment. And also, it's not just us as well, by the way. It's not just us that has this model with the sporting directors and stuff. This is like the future of football. Chelsea are definitely going in a bit harder than other clubs are, but the majority of managers that are going to come into these clubs are not going to have full controls of their teams anymore. They're not going to be managers. They're going to be head coaches, a la Ruben Amorim's crazy outburst before his sacking. So it's really difficult, man. I think we're in this difficult transitional period of football where there aren't really those managers left around that are just winners, absolute winners. Do you know what I mean? One of the best managers outside of that current crop of winners is Mikel Arteta, and he's won one FA Cup in 6 years. So he's got like one of the highest stocks out of all of these managers. Yes, Vincent Kompany is winning at Bayern Munich, but you got to. If you're not winning at Bayern Munich, you get sacked, innit? You know, we've had pretty much every manager as well. You know, you think about some of the managers that are still in the game: Tuchel, Conte, Mourinho. Yes, these guys have all ever got jobs, but they've been through us already. Do you know what I mean? We've had them and we've won with them, and now they hate us. Mourinho doesn't hate us, obviously, but obviously with Conte and Tuchel, it was particularly... Do you know what I mean? The fallout was pretty harsh. So, I am actually going to wrap the video up there, guys. Let me know what you think about all of the situations that we are in. Are you happy to see Callum McFarlane at the wheel for another game? I kind of am, man. I'm not too bothered. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, okay, it just is what it is at the moment, isn't it? But what do you think about the Marc Guehi news? Do you think he's destined for Man City? You know, Semenyo and Marc Guehi, that's a real couple of signings of intent of Premier League proven players for City to go for the title for the rest of the season. And the Vini Jr stuff, I don't really think it's legit. But I guess we'll see what happens. Nice one, guys. I hope you have an absolutely wicked day. I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.